sprang out. In a moment more she stood beside her brother, pointing mutely to a large window frame that stood against the wall. " What is it, kid ?" he asked kindly. " Sid, why can't you put on great big windows like that? They would never notice the windows, you know. It would be so nice to have plenty of light and air." " That's so," he murmured. " I might change the windows some without its being noticed." Then to the man at the desk, " What's the price of that window? Got any more?" "Yes," said the man, looking up interested. "Got half a dozen, made especially for a party, and then he wasn't pleased. Claimed he ordered sash winders 'stead of casement. If you can use these 6 we'll make you a special price." " Oh, take them, Sid. They're perfectly lovely," said Elizabeth eagerly. " They're casement windows with diamond panes. They'll just be so quaint and artistic in that stone." " Well, I don't know how they'll fit," said the young man doubtfully. " I don't want to make it seem as if I was trying to put on too much style." " No, Sid, it won't seem that way, really. I tell you they'll never notice the windows are bigger, and casement windows aren't like a regular house, you know. See, they'll open wide like doors. I think it would be just grand." " All right, kid, we'll see. We'll take the man out with us, and if he says it can be done, I'll take them." Elizabeth was overjoyed. " That's just what it needed !" she declared. " They couldn't live in the dark on rainy days. You must put 2 in the front on each side the door, and 1 on each end. The back windows will do well enough." " Well, come on, kid. Mr. Jones is going out with me at once. Do you want to go with us, or shall I call a taxi and send you home ?" said her brother. " I'm going with you, of course," said Elizabeth eagerly, hurrying out to the car as if she thought the thing would be done all wrong without her. So Elizabeth sat in the back seat alone while her brother and the contractor discoursed on the price of lumber and the relative values of wood and stone for building purposes, and the big car went back over the way it had been before that afternoon. They stopped on the way out and picked up one of Mr. Jones's carpenters, who was just leaving a job with his kit of tools, and who climbed stolidly into the back seat and sat as far away from the little blue velvet miss as possible, all the while taking furtive notes to tell his own little girl about her when he went home. Elizabeth climbed out and went about the barn with them, listening to all they had to say. The 2 men took out pencils and foot rules and went around measuring and figuring. Elizabeth watched them with bright, attentive eyes, putting a whispered suggestion now and then to her brother. " They can't go up and down a ladder all the time," she whispered. " There ought to be some rough stairs with a railing, at least as good as our back stairs at home." " How about it ?" said Graham aloud to the contractor. " Can you put in some steps, just rough ones, to the left? I'm going to have a party out here camping for a while this summer, and I want it to be safe. Need a railing, you know, so nobody will get a fall." The man measured the space up with his eye. " Just want some plain steps framed up with a hand rail ?" he said, squinting up again. " Guess we better start 'em up this way to the back wall, and then turn back from a landing. That'll suit the overhead space best. Just pine you want 'em, I suppose?" Elizabeth stood like a big blue bird alighted on the door sill, watching and listening. She was a regular woman and saw big possibilities in the building. She would have enjoyed ordering parquetry flooring and carved newel posts and making a regular palace. The sun was setting behind the purply hill and sending a glint from the weather vane on the little white church spire when they started back to the city. Elizabeth looked wistfully toward it, and wondered about the rapt expression on Shirley's face when she spoke of "working" in the church. How could one get any pleasure out of that? She meant to find out. At present her life was rather monotonous, and she longed to have some new interests. That night after she had gone to her luxurious little couch she lay in her downy nest and tried to think how it would be to live in that big barn and go to sleep up in the loft lying on that hay. Then suddenly the mystery of life was upon her with its big problems. Why, for instance, was she born into the Graham family, with money and culture and all the good times, and that sweet, bright Carol girl born into the Hollister family, where they had a hard time to live at all? Chapter 9.